Hi there, everybody. This is ModuliStack, and I am bringing you this time a Zerg versus Zerg. Now, a lot of people really seem to hate this matchup. Now, why is that? It is felt sometime to be too based on tactics and not enough on strategy. There are those who complain about rock, paper, scissors behavior in the builds. And there are those who think it's a huge roach fest, that nobody ever makes anything but roaches if they play into the late game at all. By the way, I do give him the heart, and he does give me the real heart, so he's going to win the heart build order race there. On the other hand, in the actual build order race, none of us have done anything yet, making those overlords on 9 and those follow-up drones. Always satisfying to see that you beat your opponent to that 10th drone by just a little bit. Nice to see that in a replay. Now, overlords popping out. This game is going to have a lot of strategic decisions in it. I am going to say that right now. And you're probably pretty skeptical of that because this is a close positions Zerg versus Zerg game, right? There are so many horrible things that can happen in a close position Zerg versus Zerg game. One player can try to hatch first while the other player goes for a really fast pool. One player can just overrun the other with roaches or speedlings, all sorts of things. So I'm going to get my pool right now, and I'm only just sending out a scout. On the other hand, he has a scout in my base to see the exact pool timing. Now, what is he going to do? He's going to put down his own pool and a gas. So he got this gas before his pool, and I am seeing this. I, on the other hand, am getting my gas after my pool. What does this mean? What does this mean? And this is something you should always be thinking about when you're playing and when you're analyzing games. He went gas before pool, and I went pool before gas. What impact is that going to have on the game? Well, it means that he's going to beat me to Zergling speed, right? And if he beats me to Zergling speed, there's no point in me trying to be really aggressive early on with a lot of Zerglings. But I like the option of being aggressive. Basically, it means that I might not want to go Zerglings. So I'm getting a Roach Warren. You might choose to use different logic in this situation, but some of this is affected by your own particular style and how you play. Basically, when I make units, I really feel like I have to use those units. So I'm just going to get 4 Zerglings out. These are kind of defensive, and I'm going to try to secure the ramp with those. Anyway, so the point is, it just doesn't feel right for me committing to Zerglings in this situation. Going to choose roaches instead. Baneling option is also certainly possible to get those early banelings to deal with those early speed Zerglings. It's another possibility, but just trying to indicate that you really can put thought into these early game decisions. It's not just like, oh, this build beats that build. By the way, I've made 4 Zerglings. Unfortunately, he has made 6. 6 is greater than 4, and as a result, I am going to be forced to give up control of my ramp and reveal my roaches. Unfortunate little thing to happen there. He is getting his second gas now, and he's getting a Roach Warren of his very own. I don't know if he had a specific logic behind this choice, but I am going to get my second gas now, because that's just good time to get your second gas. In the meantime, we have approximately the same timings on our lair. Interesting. Why did we both decide to get a lair at almost exactly the same time? Well, it has to do with the state the game is in, right? Nobody really has the advantage here, and nobody is really going to be able to get the advantage anytime soon. So good. That's the time to hold back and tech to get something that you can really shove in your opponent's face and do a lot with. So lair tech, it's a bit of a vague term. I'll mention that later. Lair tech is a good way of doing that. It's the only way of doing that in as a Zerg player. You want to get up that's all those things. I mean, in this case, I'm going for something very specific. I'm going to go for a Roach speed burrow timing push. It's not necessarily the best or most well thought out push, but it's a reasonable timing. My layer is going to finish, and I'll be able to start both of those upgrades. On the other hand, interestingly enough, like I said, he got this Roach Warren. He skipped Zergling speed entirely. So going for this opening that really always screams, I'm getting Zergling speed, he just skipped that Zergling speed. Now, what is he going to do with the extra gas? And we see now exactly what he's going to do with it. He's going to get a quick +1 missile attack upgrade. And I think this upgrade is great in Zerg versus Zerg, especially if you know your opponent is going roaches. And he does. He does know that I'm going roaches. +1 attack, good against Zerglings too, so by no means is it restricted to this situation. Blunder on his part. This is the only reason I know his lair is done, because I just saw his Overseer making. So he gave me a few seconds of knowledge he did not need to give me. And that may not seem big, but it certainly can be. So basically, he is trying to... he's getting just the Roach movement, the Roach speed upgrade from the lair. That's the only thing he's doing with it. I am getting the burrow as well. So... maybe I'm using the lair a little better, but he is also going to push for an advantage with this +1 missile attack upgrade. By the way, I'm a little ahead in drones. Just a little bit. This is kind of a subtle adjustment. Basically, I mean, a lot of the goal in my opening was to make a lot of drones, right? The early pool was about getting my economy running at a reasonable time. Not opting for the gas first meant that I wanted to rush that out. So... what does this mean? My economy is better. I got to make more drones. I'm now up at 25 drones. Meantime, and I'm ahead in army at this point. And I'm ahead in roaches at this point. So this is a pretty good time for me to be thinking about a push, which is exactly what I'm doing. So in the meantime, he's getting his +1 carapace now. He's gotten a second evolution chamber, and I think I... missed it. I did fly an Overseer into his base, and I did see, let me prove it to you, I did see the 2 evolution chambers. So I don't know exactly when the first one went down, so I can't really say whether he's going to have +1 or not. He does, though. So this is too risky. I should not be moving in my roaches so far. Not really going to do that much. Do burrow, managing to not have this one roach die. But he gets his Overseer back, and I am forced to get out of there. I lose a roach. So all in all, a net loss for me of 1 roach. But since I do have that burrow, I will be able to heal the rest of my roaches. Big error in control here. These roaches were supposed to keep going with these roaches. Instead, they stayed back to be murdered. And there, that roach does go down, and this one is going to go down as well. And he is going to move around to cut off this one. So now I'm going to try to attack. Oh, man. Mouse just went crazy. I'm going to try to attack there, but he does push me back. Now, I cannot hold the bottom of this ramp. I don't really know exactly who has more roaches, although the answer to that question is him, although some of them are on the way. But I do know he has an upgrade advantage. So I need to get up my ramp right now, and I realize that a second too late. He has an option of picking off a roach or 2, but does not take it. Evolution chamber. I put these 2 down when I saw that he had his. So I'm not happy being behind on upgrades. I'm going to try to catch up. And this is an important choice. I mean, you need to either catch up or just move to a completely different place in the game. I mean, another option in this situation is I could go Spire, right? Of course, he would see that quickly. But I could go for that Spire. I'm getting my second hatchery in my base because I cannot get it here yet. Because he did have all of those murderous +1 roaches right outside of my door. Meantime, he can get his hatchery, so he is going to do so. Anyway, so the point was I could go Mutalisks instead of getting these upgrades. But that would be... I would have to really switch gears. You know, I already built a lot of roaches. I already invested 2 upgrades in those roaches, so... I'm not going to give up so easily. I'm going to go directly for those upgrades while getting this hatchery up. And I do see that he's being passive with his roaches. I see this. I see it because I have my overlords out here. Yeah, sometimes you want to send out queens to kill these. I don't usually do that, but some of my opponents do. It can be pretty frustrating. So I realize I can push out, and I'm going to do so, and I'm going to expand. Now, in the meantime, let's look at the economy again. Still up on drones, just a little bit, but continuing to be up on drones. You have to, for you people with a mathematical understanding, you have to integrate the drone difference over time to find the resource difference. So just remember that. It's not about who has more harvesters. It's about who had more harvesters over a longer period of time and that would be me, even though he's almost caught up now in the total number of harvesters. But look at this. Almost 600 gas. He's not able to spend this gas because his minerals are so low. He should really be pulling his guys off of gas onto minerals to get a lot of drones out quickly. That's what he should do at this stage, because he needs to even out his economy. What is it going to mean that his economy is not evened out? It's going to mean he can't afford these +2/+2 upgrades very quickly, and so he delays the +2 attack for a long time, and he's not even getting +2 armor now. So that means since I start my +2 upgrades as soon as my +1s finish, I'm now looking at the production tab. It's even now. I'm now even in upgrades. I evened out the upgrades. I should not have been able to do that. So he just kind of gave me that little advantage. Now, Queen is going to continue vomiting. Nice thing about extra hatcheries, you can spend all of that Queen energy. Although I should think about spending some on creep tumors. I don't know. I should probably be thinking about a second Queen sometime around now. But even more important to make sure I don't die to roaches. And we are dead even right now in roach count. Dead even. Notice I'm able to drone a little harder than him. So pulling ahead once again in the drone count. Going to get these 2 gas, and then going to try to spend the gas on something. Don't get gas if you don't have a plan for it. On the other hand, definitely aggressively get gas and then make a plan. I mean, the plan here is infestors. So once again, you sort of have tech and often things that cost gas being a part of just sort of the next step in your strategy. Say, okay, we're even, right? We're even in upgrades. We're even in roach count. Maybe we're even in economy. I don't actually know this fact that he's mismanaging his economy a little.